Hi, Facebook. Just wondering if I should have my earbuds in, but hey, hopefully the road isn't too noisy. How are you doing? Yes, I'm live again here in the Facebook world. Feeling the juicy vibes calling for me to share a little, speak a lot, and talk about some stuff. So I did a live maybe last week, maybe the week before now. Who knows? Time is so timey-wimey these days. Who knows what day anything is done, said, created these days. It's all so fast moving. But I have a lot going on. Energetically, emotionally, there's a lot going on. Who can feel it? Who can feel the change in the energy, the shift? There's some big things rumbling in the background globally as well, if you have any finger in any pie of the news. I don't myself particularly, just see the headlines when they pop up on YouTube, or my husband's got his finger on the pulse a little bit more. He'll say stuff that's heard, or I'll accidentally swipe too far on my phone and get the news headlines come up and go, oh, what's going on? But yeah, so there's a lot going on in the world, there's a lot going on energetically, and there's a lot going on for most of us individually as well, for sure. And I've been feeling this like pull to share some of the like rawness without going too raw. Like, you don't want to see me bubbly snot cry at the worst moments, but I am feeling this pull to share some of the rawness without the bubbly snot crying. Some of the stories, some of the challenges, and how I then regulate my nervous system, my emotions, my energy, to bring myself back to the ability to breathe, to fill my stomach with air, to center myself, to calm myself, to regulate my nervous system. All like massive parts of the self-nurturing process. And yeah, there's just so much going on. In the last couple of weeks, it's become apparent that things aren't as they seem in relation to why we were asked to leave our old house. And without going into too much detail at this moment, we're just exploring options. There's things not quite being as they seem. So there's some untruths been said and are still being said, and we're navigating the new space and the state that is in, and the neglect of the new landlords, and then generally how people in pressured situations. And in the UK, we have this like social housing system that's operated for low cost rental property. Most people who end up in that are not financially well off. They're usually aimed at low income families, or people who find themselves in a situation where they have no choice but to move into a low cost rental property, which is increasing more and more with the number of people being evicted by landlords who are after their property back for whatever reason. and kind of being dumped in a property that's not even had the walls painted, and then being blamed for accepting the property when you were kind of like accepted the property because, well, it's either this or get taken to court by my landlord for so that they can have their property back for whatever reason they're choosing to say they want their property back. And this, like, navigating this stuff is tough. Like, I know so many people who are navigating the threat of losing their home at the moment through no fault of their own, really suddenly, like ours was. We get no like rumblings, no suggestion of it. It was just a very sudden letter in the post. And this is happening time and again. This is happening over and over again, where people are getting letters in the post, letters through the letterbox. Some landlords just put the letter through the letterbox. Some do have the courtesy to send a text or an email first. And I get it. I get the legalities of a landlord having to serve notice so that they can follow their procedure to claim a property back, so that it's all contractually above board. But even then, I think there's some flaws in the system somewhere. And yeah, so many people are navigating this, and the emotions it brings up, and the trouble, the feels, all the feels of losing your safety, losing your home. Like, that's what it amounts to. You're losing your home. That pulls the strings of the very, very root of the survival instinct. Our very basic needs are rooted in needing a home, needing a roof over our heads. It's a basic human right. Like, it's that's why if that does happen, there's provision out there in most places. If you're made homeless not through your own means, like, you can choose to go and live in a tent in a forest, which, believe me, is appealing and appealing to many people I know as well. But, like, yeah, that hold and that pull then on the survival instincts, it's all generates an energetic frequency that's then a challenge to navigate and process, and those emotions then take root in parts of our body, and then we get sick, and then we wonder why we're having bowel disorders, or why we're having heart palpitations, or why we're having stomach issues. And it's like the impact of the world around us and the stresses that we are put under, the effect that has on our physical body. Like, even the modern medical fields understand that, but there's still this dismissal of it, or this neglect to look into it, and yeah, it's a big deal. It's a big deal in the world that we live in at the moment, where there's so much of this happening, where there's so many other reasons that people are feeling under pressure. It's no wonder so many people are then having to take time off work sick, and then they're not able to make ends meet, and then they're struggling financially, and then there's constant hounding by anybody that you owe money to catch up paying. There's no grace period from anybody. You ask for grace, and yeah, you're giving it, but under threat. Like, you know, if you don't do XYZ by XYZ, then you'll get a black mark against your name. All generating fear, all impacting people's mental and emotional and energetic frequency. And for me, the whole lesson I've been going through with receiving an eviction notice, with having to take the best option that was presented to us at the time it was presented. And don't get me wrong, I actually love my new house so much. Like, the more I'm there, the more I absolutely adore it, and I'm happy to stay there for a longer length of time than initially I was going to, if we can find the means to decorate it and to make it homely, because at the moment it's badly needed decorating. And this is what we're taking up with the housing, because that really should have been their responsibility. And they're a little dismissive of it being their responsibility, and we're navigating that with them whilst creating me and my husband generating and creating an income that allows us to pay for all of the things that need to be paid for. When the whole eviction process knocked the floor from under me, so that I fell down and income crumbled, and it's a whole navigation process. And I just was going to talk into some of the things that I've been using and doing to support this, in the hopes that it maybe supports you if you're going through anything like this, if you're going through losing your home. Because I know every week somebody else comes to me and says, oh, I read a post somewhere from somebody I actually know, like not just the internet name, but someone who I actually know. I either receive a message or see a post from someone who is going through the same thing, threat of losing their home, or losing their livelihood, losing a job, losing work, having to navigate that. And in the hopes that my experience and my sharing my processes that I am using on a literal day-to-day, sometimes hour-to-hour basis, to keep me going. Like, I nearly wrote a whole thing today on just how broken I felt. Today, my mobile was turned off because I owe my mobile company a month and a half, for 2 months for my phone and a month for my girls. So like average is a month and a half mobile bill. And like there's not a specific amount of time warning. Like they just kind of email you and go, yeah, we're cutting your phone off. Like, thanks for giving me at least 24 hours notice of that, so that I could maybe do something about it. Could maybe have chosen to not buy food and pay you instead. Maybe I could have chosen to do that. Because that's the choice that sometimes is faced currently. And I was like, I wrote the words, I got the words out. Sometimes getting the words out, sharing, even if you don't share it with another human, even if you don't share it with with anybody. Like, I didn't post the thing that I wrote. I just wrote it. I just got it out there, put it out into the universe type of thing. Wrote the words, felt the feelings, got angry, frustrated, irritated and annoyed at the whole system. Like when I called O2 to negotiate, and I have, and my phone's back, here I am. And I go to negotiate. I actually said to the poor call centre woman in wherever she is, like, you know, how fair do you think it is that the CEO of the company that you're working for has got billions in profit, while there are people on the ground, customers, who are choosing between paying a mobile bill and buying food, between paying a utility bill and buying food, between paying rent and buying food. Like, this is the reality people are facing. I'm like, how fair do you think that is? And like, you know, like, I understand you're just a care centre assistant. You just, you know, can go home at the end of the day and forget about the people that you've spoken to. But maybe just think about that. If that's why I'm going through what I'm going through, so I can raise awareness to the people in the call centres so that they start asking how fair it is, like, I'm happy to do that. If I'm going through what I go through, so I can come here and live stream and say, this is the reality that people are facing. And should I be expected to go and work in a supermarket and not follow my passion, follow my dream, and love what I do so much that every client who walks in this space, I'm so warmed to and received so well by them? The healing sessions that I do, the massages I do, the clearing sessions I do, the EFT I do, everybody has so much benefit from it. People leave lighter. People message me 24 hours later going, I feel better than I've felt in months. Like, why should I give that up to go and work in a bloody supermarket where I probably will feel just as energetically drained as if I was doing something really strenuous and physical? Because, you know, I pick up on everybody's emotions that come into contact with me. I have a wide open emotional centre in my human design chart. Like, I'm just open to everybody's feelings and emotions, and I just would sit there. And could I really realistically work 16, 20 hours a week in a supermarket and then come and dedicate a few hours a week to growing Indigo Sky Holistic, to being its dream? Like, I shouldn't have to. So a CEO in a big corporation can have billions of pounds of profit. I shouldn't have to. It's a flawed system. It's got to change. It is changing. It is. If you see the global rumblings going on in the background right now, it's changing. But it's a slow process, and navigating the emotions in the moment, tricky. Very tricky. And that's what I'm experiencing and learning to do. So a lot of it comes down to feeling the feelings, expressing the feelings in some way. So I might talk about them. I have a few safe spaces where I'll vent a little bit and express to other people how I'm feeling and what I'm experiencing. I have a safe women's circle. I have my husband who I can actually discuss this with now without triggering too much, so that he feels like he's in some way to blame. He's like working super hard, doing his best to find clients. He's a horticulture gardener. He has a degree in horticulture with a regenerative horticulture leaning. So yeah, anyone local Sowerby Bridge looking for a gardener who knows permaculture and organic gardening, he can't call himself a permaculturist because he's not trained with the permaculture people, but he's studied it well, and he's got a horticulture degree, and he's very into organic and regenerative gardening, particularly for growing food. So hey, if you're in Sowerby Bridge and looking for someone like that, my husband's looking for clients. So he's doing his best in voluntary work and in the local community to establish contacts with people. I've actually seen a big change in his mental health since we moved here. He's feeling much, much better, and like, he lost his clients in 2020 with COVID. Nobody wanted him to go and do the garden, and he just like, well, he may as well be the primary stay-at-home parent for our girls who were still in need of a parent at home to be with them as we home educate. Again, what's the choice? You could send them to school and you could both go out and work. Yeah, no, because we're already out of the system. We're here to create something new, and we're here to change things. And we've done that by not putting our girls in the education system and allowing them to follow their hearts and their passions. And we're creating something different, not just for ourselves, but for people who see us and experience how things can unfold differently when you get out of the systems that are keeping people small and keeping people stuck and creating all of this fear and lack and anxiety that none of us should be living with. If the corporations could get that, if they actually supported people and were nice to people and not generating fear in people, if they generated excitement and enthusiasm in people, which I'm not entirely sure how they could do that, but they could. If they could generate enthusiasm in people to wish to pay their outstanding amounts, pay for their services, pay for their utilities, they'd actually go much further for the people or customers to do that, because that's how emotions work. That's how energy works. When we're down in the low frequency energies, we are restricting and constricting ourselves from advancing and gaining. But when we're high, when we're in the more high frequency energies of joy and peace and harmony, we can actually generate more, which means we can generate more income, which means we could pay for the people who want us to pay for things much quicker and better. But that's not how the systems have worked. I think Monsters Inc., you know, this keeps coming to me, like they're onto something with that movie. You know, I think what you think about the movie industry, but the Monsters Inc. movies where they're like harvesting the screams from the children to power the monsters land. It's like, just see the message in the movie. If they could harvest our joy and our happiness, like, not that we want them to harvest our joy and our happiness, but you know, they'd get further. When I'm in that place, income flows to me so easily, so quickly, so abundantly, like, and it continues to. And that's why the process of getting there is really important to me. But also then I'm like, maybe it's because I shouldn't be paying any of these corrupt organisations anyway. But that's for a whole other, that's a whole other story about whether we should be paying these corrupt organisations hard strived for income. You know, it really is another big question in the great life that we're here to navigate at this time, and the big changes are going on, the paradigm shift going on. So the first thing is feeling the feelings, and then it's processing the feelings. And there's ways to do that. You can do it through breathing, you can do it through reprogramming the subconscious mind, you can do it through things like EFT, emotional clearing. You can do it through like feeling in your body, where is the energy, where are you getting the pain, where are you getting the constriction, where can you feel it in your physical body. And then I know I've done a lot of research and have channeled like wisdom on what energy centers within our body store what emotions, so that then I can go, right, so I'm feeling this here in my heart, I'm feeling it in my stomach, and the emotions that are like processed through that energy center are this and this. So these are the emotions that I need to process and feel and do some energy clearing on. However I choose to do that, I might choose to do some breathing, I might choose to do some acupressure tapping, or holding acupressure points to breathe it through and release it and let it go. Like, okay, we need to really shift this anxiety, we need to really shift this resentment, we need to clear it and release it and let it go. We can do it through somatic shaking and through moving the body, through things like yoga or other martial arts as well, like qigong, tai chi, anything that helps the body move and process. And then we get to rewrite or begin to learn to embody the new story. Like when I called O2 and said, like, you know, this is shit. Like, how am I supposed to exist if you cut my phone off? And then in the process was like, let's embody the new energy. What does the new energy that I'm bringing into this, when I'm in control and I've brought the emotions in and then I've processed them and expressed them, how do I then embody the new, the change, the different? And I did that, and then was able to be like a little bit more rational sounding, maybe, and be like, you know, this is where I'm asking you, woman in the call centre on the other end of the phone, how fair do you think this is? Does it even occur to you as you sit in the call centre answering phones, like, does it even occur that the CEO of the corporation, the company that you work for, is a billionaire? Does that even occur to you? What's your take-home pay? I didn't ask her that, but, you know, I'm like, like, a billionaire, one of these corporations, could pay outstanding bills. Like, and we're talking, you know, we're not talking that I owe hundreds of pounds to O2 for my mobile. We're talking like 70 quid. Like a billionaire could pay 70 quid, even if every customer that O2 have got owes 70 quid. They could do that and still be billionaires. Like, it's crazy. So yeah. And that's the processes, the support that I've learned to process for myself. This is what I bring to my clients when they come in and they're able to voice and share and express, and then have some energy clearing and like energy healing, a Reiki session, even if they come in for a massage, even if all they do is come in and sit and talk, and we're able to do some grounding or processing, and then they go away and they maybe take away a little bit of homework to do. I need a better word. A little bit of home guidance and processing to do. They come back and they feel lighter. They feel this shift in themselves, and they're able to see a little bit more clearly a different version of themselves that's not stuck in the fear, that's not stuck in the anxiety and the worry and the fear. I said fear. You know, we're not stuck in that old place and those old stories, that survival mode, because that doesn't serve anybody. It doesn't serve it. Being stuck in survival mode doesn't serve anybody. Being able to see that we can get out of that, that's the big leap forward. That's the big step. So what are you afraid of? Because whatever you're afraid of, oftentimes you're already living it. You're already living the thing you're afraid of. If you hate your job and you want to do something different and you've got an idea of what that would be, you're already living in the job that you hate. What's like, so you leave the job that you hate and you go and you follow your dream, you try and set up a business, and then it fails, and then you have to go back and look for something else employment wise. And I know sometimes it's not what I'm going to do, but you're already in that place where you hate what you do. So what have you, there is nothing to lose. Like me coming here now, this is the scary thing for me to put this out here. Like, nobody's watching this Facebook live stream right now, but I'm going to put it on other places. I'm going to put it on YouTube. Hi, if you're watching on YouTube, share it to my public profile. Like, I'm afraid of doing this, but what have I got to lose? Like, I've already got nothing in the bank, so I can't lose anything. I already had the threat of losing my home. I've got nothing to lose by sharing the reels of the life that I'm navigating and how I'm processing it. And I've actually got everything to gain, because this is what I do. This is how I support people. I support people to get out of their tricky life situation, their own relationship difficulties, their own money situations, their own employment situations, their own health situations. I got the tools to support them through that and out of that, and find something that feels lighter. So I've got nothing to lose and everything to gain, in that I get to share my magic, my wisdom, my experience, my healing, to support other people in their healing. And other people have got so much to gain by me putting this out there, and by me sharing this and sharing the depths of my story. Other people have got so much to gain as well. So, yeah. Anything resonates, you can book a session below, even if it's just a free, let's have a cuppa session, so that we can share stories and look at the best way, or the best of the tools that I have that could support you. And it might actually be a nurturing monthly massage, because that helps you get out of your head and chill. There's a lot to be said for how powerful a regular massage session is. It might be just coming and sitting and talking to me for an hour a week. It might be jumping into one of the processes that I've created or am creating on nurturing yourself, on supporting yourself, on calming the nervous system, learning to trust yourself, and the energy that is running and creating through us all. So you can find everything below. You can book anything below. And yeah, anything that comes up for you through this, you can drop into my inbox, you can share your stories, and I'll be back. I think I'm feeling the benefits of sharing. Don't mind the noisy quad bikes going past. The benefits of sharing where I'm at and how I'm getting out of the ick that I'm so sick of having been in. I'll see you soon.